Hello friends, welcome you all to another video, and today I am going to teach you the next sonnet, that is sonnet number 138, When My Love Swears That She Is Made of Truth, written by William Shakespeare. And it is Shakespeare's last sonnet in your syllabus, so which we are going to deal with it. So again I just want to recall you that the last sonnet is about the true love. This sonnet is about the lovers, the lover and his beloved, and how they are cheating themselves, okay, and how they have to trust themselves. So it is actually the mutual understanding between the couple, that how the their relationship will be longer. So that is very important message actually the poet is giving through this poem. But before that, I am going to read out all the lines, and after that I will teach you the half poem, and the next half of this poem we are going to see in the next day, that is the tomorrow's lecture. So now I am reading it. You also read with me. When my love swears that she is made of truth, I do believe her, though I know she lies. That she might think me some untutored youth, unlearned in the world's false subtles, thus vanily thinking that she thinks me young, although she knows my days are past the best. Simply I credit her false speaking tongue. On both sides, thus is simple truth suppressed. But wherefore says she is not, she is unjust. And wherefore say not I that I am old. Oh, love is best habit, is in seeming trust. And age in love loves not to have years told. Therefore I lie with her, and she with me, and in our faults by lies are we fatter me. So that is a very beautiful poem, and I am going to deal with these lines which we can see on your screen. These are the lines, okay, and I am going to tell you the meaning of it. And then you also look at the rhyme scheme of this poem, okay, A B A B, okay, C D C D. So like that is a Shakespearean sonnet, and it has a iambic pentameter. And what is iambic pentameter? What is that? I am going to tell you in the tomorrow's lecture, because this rhyming scheme also deals with the Sir Philip Sidney's sonnet, because his sonnets are Petrarchian or English sonnet or Shakespearean sonnet, which we are going to also deal in the tomorrow's lecture. So let's me start with the first line. The first stanza is like that: When my love swears that she is made of truth, I do believe her, though I know she lies. That she might think me some untutored youth, unlearned in the world's false subtitles. Okay, so actually, in the very beginning of this poem, here the poet is saying that his beloved swear that whatever she is telling, that how she blindly loves him, that how he is her first love, how she do not have desire for other men, or how she loves him from her heart, how and how much she loves him, she was telling it by swearing and just making that whatever she is speaking, it is truth. Okay, I when my love swear that she is made of truth, I do believe her. And here the poet is saying that whatever she is telling her, whatever she is telling him, he believes on her. He believes on her. Okay, even though I know she lies, even though he knew that she is lying, she is speaking untrue, she is speaking lies. So even though she is lying, even though he trust her, even though he believe on her, okay, because the believeness of each other make the relation alive, makes the relationship good, make the relationship that wronger. Okay, so that is very important, that we must trust each other even though we are lying to each other, but we must show trust, we must trust. So that is the meaning of the first two lines, that his beloved is telling him by swearing that whatever she is telling is truth. He know that she is lying, but even though he believes on her, that she might think me some untutored youth, unlearned in the world's false subtitles. And again He is saying that she might think that he is an untutored youth. He is untutored. He is a non-experienced person. He has no experience. Okay, so actually the poet is also saying her that he is also an experienced person. He doesn't have any experience of love. He has not fallen in love with anybody. Okay, whatever love he is showing, it is only her, and therefore he is untutored youth. He doesn't have any feeling for other girl before her, and not other. So again he is also lying to her, and she might think that he is untutored youth, unlearned in the words false subtle. And again she also know that whatever he is pretending that he is non experienced person, but even though she knew that he may have an experienced person, but even though she is believing on him that he is untutored, unlearned person of these youth, the world, in the word false substance. It means that the both knew each other, that they are lying, they are pretending that they are that, but actually they are not that. But even though they are trusting each other to protect their love, to protect their relationship, to prolong their relationship. So that is very important and very nice thing we can see here. Next line, next two line, the last line, which I am going to explain you, because already I think we have crossed the 10 minutes. Thus, vanily thinking that she thinks me young, although she knows my days are past and best. So okay, so again here the poet is saying that she might think that she is young, but she already knew that his youth has passed. Actually he is a little bit older, he is not young, but she pretend that he is young because she knew that he is old. But again she is trusting on him that he is young, and actually she knew that his youth was very best. He has that he has enjoyed the love in his youth, even though she knows it, but even though she pretend to be trusting on him that he is young. So that was the thing, both are lying each other, but both knew that they are lying, but both they are trusting each other, they are believing each other, because it is the way of the world. It is the way of the world, my friends. And because of that the relationship prolonged, relationship can be happily prolonged. So here we are going to stop here, and in the next lecture we are going to finish this poem, and I'm also going to tell you about the iambic pentameter, which deals with both the Sir Philip Sidney's sonnets and Shakespearean sonnet also. So thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.